Yo, what's up guys? We back again. Today I'm in the 1996 Nissan 240SX. We're going to see how we can make this audio better. Hopefully the audio quality is pretty good. First time I'm doing the POV type videos, so I'm gonna adjust and upgrade, over time. But first I want to talk while I'm driving. We have the new Tein Flex Z's on here. Luckily it's not too hot yet. My air conditioner is not working yet. You see I gotta fix the A-pillar over there. I gotta fix this A-pillar over here too, but it's in better shape than that one. That one's not even staying on. Cracked dash. If you ever had a 240, especially S14, you know that they have cracked dashes. A lot of them, if you get a clean dash nowadays, it's very rare, and you're probably gonna be paying a lot for the car if it has a clean dash. They sort of kind of go together, it seems like nowadays. That you might want to know. A couple things. So, majority of car companies, unless it's maybe like a super duper sports driven version, which might confuse some people right now because I have a sports car. But there's combinations of how you can put together springs and struts and shocks and suspension to where it's not always just one thing. It's not just always a spring rate. It's not always just the dampener. It's a combination of all these things together. So most OEM cars that are not super duper hardcore focused like sports cars or track cars, they're going to come with twin tube instead of mono tube. So twin tube makes the ride a little bit more comfortable. It's more compliant on the street, and mono tube is a little bit more hardcore and could be a lot more hardcore depending on how deep in the coilover game you get. There's very extreme coilovers where you can adjust the compression and the rebound of the suspension or the spring and the shock. And then you can also, buy ones that have a different reservoir. It has like it has the actual coilover, and then it has the reservoir that sits next to it. And, like anything in life, you can always upgrade and go higher up, and the higher up you go, the more things you can do with it, or the more adjustability you can do with it to finally tune it to what you need it to do. But you're on the street, most people don't need that. So like I said, most OEM cars are twin tube inside of the strut or shock, and very, very track focused cars are, maybe like a Subaru STI, I think, or a BRZ, or like a Toyota GR. I think those have mono tube shocks. So I went with twin tube shocks because I wanted some comfort on the street. This is not a dedicated track car. Will it ever see track use? Maybe, here and there, but it's not a dedicated track car, and I would prefer, and I also suggest for most people, twin tube instead of mono tube on the street. So that's the first thing. So, I think that helps a little bit when people can understand that a lot of the manufacturers use twin tubes on normal cars, and the compliancy with the ride is a very important thing. So, you can sort of kind of imagine that in your head. Compress of the shock and spring, decompress, which is rebound, right? Like rebound, like the ball's coming back to you off of the the rim, you rebound it, you get it back, right? So it might not be, if you're beginners into coilover suspension, it might not make sense of why you would want to adjust that, but depending on the surface, the track, the street, you might want to have your rebound come back faster, or you might want it to come back, or the strut to react faster and come back down, decompress faster, or you might want it to decompress or the rebound slower. And that all affects handling, how the car reacts, how fast it reacts, how twitchy the car is, how untwitchy it is, a whole bunch of things, body roll to some extent. It's still a coilover, so even on the softest setting, it's not going to be as compliant as maybe, a Honda Civic, but I think it's very, very close at the softest setting. Right now, I'm running 6. There's 16. It's 16 way adjustable, so I'm running 6 in the front and 6 in the rear. When I say I'm running 6, that means from the softest setting, and you look on the dial, it says soft or firm or soft or stiff. I turn it all the way to soft, and then I do 6 clicks towards firm, and then you can go from there, from front and rear, and adjust it. And I'm doing more of a neutral setup from front and rear. If I wanted to have a little bit more stability, like more turning, quick turning, I would make the front a little bit stiffer than the rear. If I wanted the rear not to slide out so much, I would make the rear a little bit softer as well. So you can play with that to, beautiful creek right there. You can play with that to adjust your car and tune your car to your driving style. So with that being said, let's get into it. Now I'm gonna stay at speed limit because I'm not trying to get in no trouble. But at speed limit, I'm gonna somewhat try to describe to you how it feels, and I'm gonna go around a couple corners at speed limit to see how 6 and 6 works. Nice turn in. Nice turn in. Definitely compared to stock suspension, it turns in way, way, way quicker. Way quicker. And actually, I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna go on a really, 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 really turny road, and we're gonna see how this works out. Compliant on the road, very compliant. I feel a couple of bumps here and there, but like I said, I have it, well, ooh, okay. This is actually a roundabout. I mean, not a roundabout, a cul-de-sac. I have it on 6 and 6, so it could be a tidbit firm over, you know, certain like potholes, but nothing really too bad. Nothing that's like going to irritate you, you know. You might notice a big difference if you get out of something like, I don't know, maybe like a Lexus, like LS or something like that, especially if it's an older one where it's more focused on a softer springs and basically more luxury than it is sport. So the suspension overall is going to be more compliant with the roads for more towards luxury or to be luxurious. But it's definitely compliant. And I think if you're looking for a coilover, anybody looking for a coilover, a nice beginner coilover that doesn't necessarily break the bank, if you really have your mind set on a pair of coilovers, I think that this is one of the entry-level coilovers that you should definitely look into and get into, basically. But you can definitely make it softer. I'm at 6 and 6 right now, and I would suggest, especially if you get a S14, S15, if you have a Silvia, where the rear is, you know, it's a pretty balanced car with weight distribution. If it was front wheel drive, I would make the rear a little bit, probably, you know, the front a little bit more stiff because there's a little bit more weight, but you'd have to play with it. You don't want too much understeer as well. But yeah, I think it's pretty good. Like, it's really good, actually. I'm pretty impressed, and everybody that's rode in it so far has been really impressed. I like the turn-in a lot too. The turn-in is really nice. There's still some things going on with my chassis because it's an S14 and there's a lot of things I gotta refresh, but the turn-in is really nice. Over very smooth roads, it's beautiful. It's so compliant. Let's go around this curve. Nice, nice, nice. Slips out a little bit. Okay. Got a car coming. Nice. So, and we'll go back around there real quick again. But one thing that I noticed is that the turn-in of a S14 Silvia and with these coilovers, it's really beautiful. I mean, it is. Like, if you step from factory to this, and if you lower it the right way, it's beautiful. Mine's lowered in the front 2.5 inches, and in the rear, it's 1.8 inches. I really think that the ride that these Teins give you for anywhere between $750 shipped if you get them on a good day or on a sale or a discount or like Black Friday, all the way up to like $850. I think that this is actually an amazing upgrade. Like, I would suggest anybody to get this upgrade. These coilovers, I've been driving on for the last 3 weeks, and I'm telling you, the more and more I drive, and if you don't know Tein, their coilovers, you know, like a lot of coilovers in some aspects, but it's very stiff, and as you drive it gets less and less stiff. Still stiff performance wise, but as far as, you know, it's not fresh out the box, and it's starting to get used to the weight of the car and you know, contracting and expanding and all those type of things. So beautiful, just beautiful. And to be honest with you, this is the only suspension mod that I really have done. I don't have sway bars or anything. And compared to stock suspension, this is night and day. I mean, this is just night and day. This is what you would really want from a coilover. And for a coilover under $1,000, like, you can't beat that. You just can't beat that. You really can't. Turn-in is beautiful. The S14 is such an inspiring chassis because it's so easy to drive, and it's forgiving as long as you have a balanced car and you don't have a ridiculous amount of horsepower. You know, 500-600 horsepower. You know, you got to be a little bit more careful. But I'm doing an all-motor build, KA24DE build, ITBs. So I'm trying to, I guess you could say, be a little bit more unique. But I really love all motor. I already have a turbo 2G Eclipse at home, so I need something, you know, that scratches all my itches. I always wanted to have an all-motor, build an all-motor ITB. I have my turbo car. In the future, I would love to have a supercharger, and I will be pretty much set. I have an all-wheel drive car, a rear-wheel drive car, and a front-wheel drive car. I'll be pretty much set. Rotaries, you know, I have friends that have those. I'll leave them to experience that. Maybe one day I'll build a rotary, and then I want to build a lowrider in a rally car or a rally truck, and I think I would have almost built almost everything that exists. Well, not everything, but a lot. And then maybe like a Bonneville salt flat car as well, like speed, you know, 220 miles per hour or something like that. I would like to do that in the future. Who knows if it will ever happen, but yeah. So what's my conclusion? My conclusion is amazing coilovers for the price that you pay. And I say, yeah, if you have under $1,000 to spend and you want an entry-level coilover that does things the right way from a Japanese brand that is so trustworthy, it's been around for so long. You know, I don't know exactly how long Tein's been around. Maybe what, 80s, 90s, maybe even 70s or 60s. I have to look, I forgot actually. But they've been around 30 plus years for sure. And they know what they're doing. So $1,000 and under coilovers, there's a couple options, but I would definitely for sure say that these Tein's Flex Zs, right? Make sure they're Flex Zs, because they have another coilover that is under these Tein's. But buy them now. Don't even wait for me to even talk to you anymore. Actually subscribe and like first, and then comment too, but buy them now as well. Guys, please like, subscribe, make sure you turn on the bell notifications so you get all my videos. And we just gonna keep going through the art of cars. Peace.